Hey, this is Leaf Gamford. I played the cash register thief in the amazing...
That's the wrong one.
Beware of the cash thief.
This is Jedi General Pong Krail. I welcome you to the Voice of the Republic podcast. Listen to this podcast. That is in order.
Your reputation precedes you, General. The reputation of a great new podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Voice of the Republic podcast. This is Bonnie Peace, Baru from Star Wars.
Time to see who's smart enough to join the hunt for the Voice of the Republic podcast.
So, I hear we're going to be taking out separatists on the Voice of the Republic podcast.
Smaller in number, are we? But larger in mind is the Voice of the Republic podcast.
Of all the Jedi, why did I have to end up with the Voice of the Republic podcast? As the Republic juggernaut rolls across the disputed worlds, citizens all across the galaxy turn to the Voice of the Republic podcast for help.
Hello, this is C-3PO, Human-Cyborg Relations. Master Luke can't come on the Voice of the Republic today. He's out fighting the stormtroopers that just landed. I shall have him be a guest on the Republic podcast as soon as possible. Oh dear.
Hello Star Wars fans across the galaxy, welcome to the Voice of the Republic podcast. My name is Daniel and joining me is fellow host, Robert Williamson.
Hello, I hear we have a new intro.
Yes, we're gonna have a word with our producer after this. And also joining us is co-host Lizzie Carty-Dodd and Adrian.
Laheating, hello.
Wait, they're both one person?
Yes, they're both one person.
We're rather awkward considering they've never even met each other before.
Oh,
well,
Lord.
Tonight's
This is the first episode of them. Yes, supposedly it is.
Wrong intro to co-host of Merged Together. What next?
Well, we've had an interesting evening. I know I have anyway. And I'm sure Chris has too, doing 2 podcasts in one day. And yes, that might slightly explain the intro mishap, though we still don't excuse him for it.
For some bizarre reason, I was waiting for a reply from Chris and then thinking, oh wait, he's not on this podcast.
I'll send the Trade Federation army after him.
You do that. Might take a couple of days. But yeah, so we're back. I don't know why I just said that, because we're here every week. But yeah, so let's get on with our topics before we make our third fail of the night. Or maybe that was. So our first topic is more Star Wars Rebels news and rumors. So first up we have New York Comic Con panel that was this week. I don't know. I remember listening to it, but I can't remember what it is. So, what are your thoughts on it?
Who, me?
No, the person sitting beside you.
Well, I don't know. I dropped out for a moment.
We're talking about New York Comic Con panel, in case you missed that.
Oh, well, I kind of guessed, but I wanted to be sure, because who knows what you could come up with.
No, you've dropped out for so long, we're on Jedi news stuff.
What? Yes, okay, about that. So, what do you want me to say about the panel?
What did you think about it?
Yeah, it was a very insightful panel. I enjoyed seeing all the updates from it. There was a ton of stuff revealed, which we'll break down in just a few months. But yeah, it's a good panel. I mean, probably the only thing that would have made it better was if Dave Filoni was actually there in person with Pablo Hidalgo. But it's a great panel, and of course, it was pretty cool that it was actually Pablo's birthday on the day of the panel, yeah, so that was very interesting. Yeah, but yeah, it was a good panel, very insightful. Saw some new stuff, and like I said, we'll break it down in just a moment or two.
Yes, we will. And what were your thoughts on the panel, Lizzie?
I'm a bit ashamed to say, again, I didn't actually see it or hear it. I actually spent a lot more time offline this week, and as a result, I didn't get as much news. What I did see, however, was the new image of, I'm understanding he's called the Inquisitor.
That is a placeholder title for him.
Right. And my immediate thought was that, oh my gosh, the sun's come back. But when I took a closer look, obviously it wasn't the sun, and I was very surprised to see he was a Powan, like Tion Medon in episode 3. Now, when I was younger, the Powans were one of my favourites. So I have to say, I'm actually rather encouraged that they're taking a relatively underloved and unknown species, a species that also made its debut in the prequels, and making use of it in something that you might sort of align more with the original trilogy. So that actually gives me a bit of hope that they're not going to stick, entirely to what only existed in the original trilogy, but they're also going to bring in new things that were released during the prequels or during the Clone Wars, or even just create some new things for it. So that was really encouraging, and I've actually got my hopes up a bit more that maybe, we might have a Nemoidian, or even another Duros.
As long as you get Nemoidians or Duros, you'll be dancing around the campfire happily.
Yeah, well, never mind if the story's any good.
That was one of the biggest draws of the Clone Wars for me. They took again, a relatively unloved species, and they did a fair amount with it, especially in the first 3 seasons.
Definitely. And what about you, Adrian?
Me, I never really had doubts with the Rebels show to begin with. I knew since we were having Simon Kinberg and Greg Weisman added to the show that, this would deliver a lot more than what we've seen in the Clone Wars. I'm actually thrilled that they're adding a Powan instead of going either with a Chiss or some other iconic alien Imperial character in the EU before. This is definitely a welcoming change. I know people have already been complaining, oh, he's filling in the gap of Star Killer, or
even Vader.
We're already starting with this pathetic character when we should have done Star Killer instead. And I'm like, Inquisitors have already existed in the EU. I played Star Wars Galaxies. It's an MMO that lasted for 8 years. There were many Inquisitor characters around. They were all very genuine, interesting, but here for the first time we finally have the name introduced in a film media setting for Star Wars, as opposed to this Inquisitor title for the Star Wars The Old Republic video game. But now we finally have a chance to see what Inquisitors do. What are these other Dark Jedi that aren't really Sith, like Asajj Ventress? I mean, we finally get to see more of these kinds of lesser-known dark side villains.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's great as well, because I know while a lot of people want to see Star Killing Rebels, I mean, I'm perfectly happy with them being two, different things altogether, having two different versions of a storyline around the same time area, I guess it's fair to say. Like, I think that I don't see right out of that then, them feeling Star Killing Rebels, but I won't complain if they did. I just think it would be cool if both were separate things, which I'm sure they'll probably go with anyway.
I think the only complaints people have been seeing about the Inquisitor, this is probably part of the minority complaints, it's just the lightsaber he has. They feel it's like probably a ripoff from a Hasbro toy line.
That did actually strike me. I saw that.
Yeah.
I think it's I think it's interesting, though. I mean, I really don't see why it's a rip-off. I mean, they're making use of something that's out there. And I mean, sometimes it's not just about, creating something all new. If you have something useful already there, which you can use for another idea, then why not use it? I mean, in theory, really, well, not theory, it comes into practice, businesses, a lot of businesses before, they actually go with a product idea or something, they'll actually look at something and see, oh, that was good. Can we get another idea or something out of it, and they'll use that? I think that's what's in play here, and it's a very common thing, really.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's always good to see older stuff used again, but it's always good to see new stuff put in, but again, we don't always want to constantly see everything new. It's always good to bring older stuff. Well, not older stuff, but stuff that we've seen before back, sort of thing.
I was amazed that they brought in the old Imperial Troop Transport toy model.
Oh yeah, that looks
Oh,
brilliant.
yeah.
I really hope after they, polish it up and maybe make a few angular changes, it'll look something very neat.
Oh, I'm sure it will, and I'm sure they won't anything wrong with it.
How about the all-terrain defense pod?
Oh yeah, the ATDP.
yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, it's kind of cool the way it's like a mixture of different walkers from the Imperial era, and it's mixed into one in a way, I guess you could say. Like, it's kind of like an ATST and some of the other vehicles, but I think I really like the look of the ATDP. Can't wait to see it in action.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see it. It definitely looks a good design, and it'll be good to see what it actually looks like in screen, and it'll be good to see it in action as well, obviously.
And they also actually showed concept art for the ATDP drivers as well.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
that was
great, the way they were like the ATST drivers on Endor, but with like a stormtrooper face underneath the mask. I mean, that just looked so cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I really like the look of those.
Wow.
It definitely had a good look to it. I agree there.
No,
Yeah.
I've just had a look at the design. I see what you mean. It's like it's got like the head of an AT-AT, an AT-AT on the body of an AT-ST, but with the feet of one of those smaller walkers you see in like episode 3. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, putting a lot of work into these designs using.
Yeah, and the thing I also like about it is that it seemed to have a kind of. I mean, it's hard to say this right now, given how early on we are with Rebels. I mean, it's not even released yet, but I like how it has that sort of look of, I don't know, concept art. I mean, like they brought concept art from like the 80s back and worked it into it.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're using all of Ralph McQuarrie's designs and.
That's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
it's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, just looks great. I mean, all this Ralph McQuarrie concept art, it just looks amazing. I mean, he was a very talented man and a genius, and has provided so much for Star Wars, and now to utilize his designs in an all-new way, that itself is gonna, make for a really great animated show.
Oh, definitely. With his some of his designs and all that, it's definitely gonna look cool and quite good in the new Rebels.
Well, as we also know, Ralph McQuarrie was also a fan of the Clone Wars, so I think it's really safe to say that that now that he's passed on to a new set of writers and designers, I think if he had a chance to see the show for himself, I think he would approve it greatly. Not only on his level of art that's being imitated for the show, but also to see how the art style of the Clone Wars has also phased into the way how Rebels is being produced.
Definitely.
I completely agree. And there was a lot of other concept art as well, like for the TIE pilots from India. Yeah, they showed some concept for those. I mean, it's that one I think looks really great. I can't wait to see those animated TIE pilots, because it looks just as if, they were the movie versions popped right into animated style. I mean, they couldn't nail them any better, to be honest. It just looks great.
Definitely. It's gonna be exciting to see what it all comes together in animation and on the screen.
Yeah, and there was Imperial speeder bike as well, and that looked brilliant.
It did, definitely.
Design. Yeah. Just going through a bunch of the concept art right now while discussing this. There's the Imperial Troop Transport AT-DP we discussed. And there was one of the new ships as well. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was like the troop transport with the TIE fighters on the edges, hanging onto the big ship. I think it's kind of like a troop transport, I guess.
I think it is, yeah. It looks like it. It's something like it.
Yeah. And they showed some other looks at the Star Destroyer, and one of the ones I thought was really cool was... concepts was the one, just like in Empire, I believe, when Han piloted the Millennium Falcon and stopped it on behind a Star Destroyer, like behind but on a Star Destroyer, to so the Imperials couldn't spot them, and they actually did a similar concept with the Ghost ship, and and the scale of it, you can tell just like the Millennium Falcon, it's really small compared to the Star Destroyer.
There's definitely some beautiful designs that we've seen so far.
Yeah, definitely. I think the best of which is either the ATDP driver we discussed, Stormtrooper mask, ATST headgear, all that sort of thing, or the Inquisitor. I mean, both of those designs are really good.
The one
How
thing,
about,
sorry, go on.
All right, yeah. How about the concept art for what appears to be the planet Lothal?
Yeah, that looked pretty interesting as well. Yeah. More excited for characters though, but that's just me.
Sorry for you.
Actually, they did show an Imperial officer in one of those videos, and I was like, "Oh, the first animated Imperial officer! That is so cool!" Because out of the whole original trilogy era, I just have a thing for Imperial officers, not the Stormtroopers I like Vader, of course. I know Dan, because of Hasbro, doesn't so much.
Burn, Vader, burn! I order you to burn!
Imperial officers, I just love. Great. And that animated one, he looked a bit bulky, chubby, whatever term you want to use, but he looked cool.
He had a few McDonald's.
Yeah. Actually, one thing that I also noticed in that Rebels video was, actually Jedi News noticed it first, but what was actually pretty cool was, very briefly in the Rebels video, you see one of the designers looking at original concept for Bounty Hunter IG-88 from Empire. Very original concept, so it was very different from the final design, like a lot bulkier. But yeah, the concept looked great, so they're going to be bringing that back into the Rebels, so that'll be interesting to see what they do with that, whether it's a whole new droid model or whatever. Yeah. Looking forward to that. Yeah.
The thing that I noticed about what few images I've seen so far is how much more austere and almost monochromatic it seems with comparison to the Clone Wars art. It's a lot less lush, and given the time period we're now dealing with, I think they've actually sort of brought that on really well, because the Imperial times, it isn't supposed to be this this bright, big, exciting time in the galaxy. It's supposed to be a time of incredible darkness and oppression, and they've really brought that on across well with the style of concept art they've been doing. So
definitely
top marks there.
Yeah, definitely
I've got a feeling that it's going to be, as I said, a lot less bright and visually stunning. It's going to be it's going to look amazing, but the Clone Wars had these lush, colourful worlds that were still more or less free. Whereas now that we're in an Imperial era, it's going to be, as I said, a lot more austere, a lot more dark. So
yeah, definitely.
It's going to have a completely different feel to it.
Yeah. Which will make the series all the more unique, which can only be a really good thing, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's sad that, I'm still not over it that we don't have Clone Wars anymore. But at the same time, I still can't entirely get my head around Rebels, but as you said, it will be nice to see something different. It's not just playing right off of Clone Wars. I have no doubt that they will take inspiration from it, but it's not playing right off of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I
don't think. Yeah, sorry.
No, go on.
I don't think anyone really would like to see a carbon copy of the Clone Wars, because as great as it is, there are many differences between the time periods. Yeah, exactly. Sure, you can use inspiration, you can even go as far as use characters, but you can't really have it the exact same thing, what's
no.
going on especially what's going on around you. Like, you can't have it. Oh, it's a full-scale war going on. No, it has to be. The Empire's in command. They're taking over. Like, everyone's against the Empire. Almost everyone.
Conquering planets, fighting off civilians, all sorts of stuff.
Mm.
I honestly wouldn't. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's this image of sort of a rough and dirty science fictional world that Star Wars really introduced with Episode 4. That was so unlike anything we'd ever seen. It wasn't sleek and shiny and beautiful. It was backwater. It was dirty. It was it was war torn, and it was very realistic in that sense.
Mm-hmm. I also wouldn't mind if the Rebel show would also bring back some moments from the old Star Wars Droids animated shows that I remember watching as a kid. We see characters like Thal Jobin, Kia Mal, Mungo Beobad, or even heck Admiral Screed. I wouldn't mind it. I mean, because even
Admiral
then that
Screed
show.
is incredible.
Yes, I mean, how often do you have this really amazing British guy with a cybernetic patch over his eye and his face looked abnormal?
Oh, wait a minute, I just missed out on the last thing. Sorry.
Really?
Almost.
Well, yeah, I was talking about Admiral Screed. He was a famous Imperial character. He was
I'm Rory Williamson.
Okay, well, anyway.
Here's a cookie.
What? Okay, I'll stop there.
All right. Anyways, so I think my mojo's probably come to an end at this point. But anyways, it'd be nice to see some characters. I mean, if they can't bring characters from the Clone Wars into the show, then they could probably use some characters that did exist in the Droid series and just kind of throw them in there as cameos or at least some nodded to the old show that was set around that time as well.
Well, I mean, if we do see any remaining Clone Wars characters, we're not going to see tons. I'm sure we're not going to see tons of them because some of the remaining ones will want to kind of stay away from what's happening in the galaxy, kind of keep themselves away from all that's happened in the last few years or decades, and kind of just keeping silent for a bit. So it's definitely going to keep some of what we've seen in the Clone Wars characters away, and maybe bring in some of the characters that what's going to be leading to in A New Hope.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they obviously can't be that many, but as far as a few goes, I mean, realistically, we could see a ton of the clone troopers as stormtroopers. In a sense, I mean, Hidalgo did confirm, I believe, that most of them would have gone on to become training surgeons for the, new recruits, the volunteers. I think he said something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. But, yeah, so it would be interesting to see them in that sort of role. I mean, yeah. I think Ahsoka would be the most likely, though. I mean, I remember reading in a recent interview of Dave Filoni that he says while he doesn't keep in touch with most of the Clone Wars cast anymore, which is kind of upsetting in a way, he does still talk to Ashley Eckstein a lot. So if any of the Clone Wars characters were to appear, she is probably the most likely.
As it's been mentioned before, it would maybe be good to see Ahsoka, Ashley's character maybe, I don't know, be part of the rebels trying to fight off the Empire, or even leading rebels fighting against the Empire, or maybe she's just going to stay away, be a sort of, I don't know, maybe not bounty hunter, but kind of just doing her own jobs, trying to keep out of trouble and trying to stay away.
I think what would be great is if they have like this arc with Leia, at some point, and eventually Leia she's trying to battle against the Empire in her own way, the rebellion thing going on and all that, and eventually she gets stranded somewhere. Well, events lead to an event, and basically she ends up coming across Ahsoka, and enlists Ahsoka's help for a bit, and in the end, Ahsoka has to fight Vader. While Leia does some other thing, but part of the same mission, of course. Like Ahsoka would be distracting Vader more or less. I think that would be an interesting way to go.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
they'd have to write it a lot better than I'm describing it, but you get the idea.
Yeah. And obviously we've seen, as you mentioned before, behind the scenes video.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was a very interesting video. I mean, getting to see all that's going on, like with Greg Wiseman and Simon Kinberg, who they were both in the video, and we saw some of
Yeah.
the stuff they were doing. Like I mentioned, there was the Imperial officer they showed briefly, the IG-88 that you had to look really closely to spot really, and the way they mentioned that a ton of the Clone Wars crew were coming back. I mean, it's just not just like the big ones like Filoni, Joel Aaron, the effects supervisor, Killian Plunkett, the art director. Also, a lot of the other ones that some casual fans won't really know of, but most will know of Filoni, Joel Aaron, and Killian Plunkett. And they've up some other ones like Stuart Lee, the main episodic director, his brother Steve Lee, who had worked at LucasArts previously. And a few others, like casual fans won't really know of. Well, maybe not casual fans, but, one's not as involved in knowing about the crew, I thought that was really cool. And
Definitely.
everything they showed and the way they were discussing how they think they were most excited about working on the series was the Empire, which was cool. And it was so cool. I thought as well when Filoni was like, and they're known for saying things like "you rebel scum," and then a shot of Barry Holland, who played Lieutenant Rance, who will be getting on the podcast at some point. You actually see him saying the line "you rebel scum" to Han Solo, like they fit it into the video. That was cool. Yeah, I thought the Sith Inquisitor reveal at the very end of the video was so amazing, though. I mean, just the music, the ominous, I guess you could say, music for it, and the way it gets darker and creepier and dramatic until the end, with the full model type thing. I was just so creepy. I was like, my spine was shivering when I saw it the first time.
Yeah.
It was like pretty dramatic.
We're working on the Empire side, if you want to call it, for this series. It's definitely going to be interesting. It's definitely going to expand and learn a bit more, and they can expand quite a bit to what happened in between when the Jedi practically all got exterminated, and when we see that scene when Leia gets captured by Darth Vader, sort of thing. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they explore it, how it's recreated in some sense, and what's going to be happening and all the characters and everything.
Definitely.
That's how you
But I just thought the behind the scenes video was a great look to get into the production of Rebels and get an idea for it. Yeah, it was really, really cool. Yeah. And of course, seeing Greg Wiseman in the video, and of course, the other podcast, Everything Geek, my other one, had that interview with him today, so that was cool. And Rebels was brought up a little bit. I'm not saying much more.
And it's definitely good. It's definitely good to know that there's enthusiastic people working, wanting to explore a bit more, and especially if Dave Filoni, obviously, who did amazingly well with the Clone Wars, so definitely going to be good.
Yeah. And we also have a few rumors and other news, I guess you could say, about about Rebels.
Yes. So also, Michael Giacchino rumored to be providing the score for Rebels.
Well, if Kevin Kiner, who is probably the most likely anyway, just because of his work on the Clone Wars and Filoni knows him and all that, I think if they don't get Kiner, this guy should definitely do it, Michael Giacchino, because he's actually done a ton of stuff. He's done a lot of movies, TV shows, video games, you name it. He's done a lot. I mean, he's been the music composer for the new Star Trek movies under J.J. Abrams, and those have been pretty big. He's done music for popular World War II video games for like Medal of Honor, Call of Duty back in the day. So like he's definitely got a ton of different like themes he can compositions, I guess you could
Oh,
say,
yeah.
actually. Like between space stuff like Star Trek, like real world war stuff, with the video game series I just mentioned. So yeah, I mean, it would be really cool to see him and doing the music for Rebels. I think he would do an excellent job. I still think Kevin Kiner will do it, but you know, it would be good to see Chino do it if Kiner doesn't.
Now,
Yeah.
is this the same person who did the score for the Clone Wars?
Kevin Kiner? No, well, yeah, Chino isn't, but
That's
Kevin
what I mean. So it's a different guy.
Yeah, different guy.
That's a bit sad because what did you say? What did you say the name of the person who did the score for the Clone Wars was?
Kevin Kiner.
Kevin Kiner. I absolutely fell in love with the music from the Clone Wars. I mean, before I started watching, I have to admit I was nervous because often the music this was before I was even anywhere near introduced to Clone Wars, but often the music in quote unquote cartoons can be borderline cringe-worthy. And I have to admit, at the time, I was biased because it was on Cartoon Network. But the music was absolutely phenomenal, and I was so amazed when I first started watching the Clone Wars as to how much of that Star Wars feel he managed to capture. It was not the same style as John Williams, but it had a lot of his elements in it, and still made it feel just like Star Wars. It was Star Wars through and through. It was just a slightly different sort of Star Wars.
We do need to remember that it's a rumor, and we could easily get Kevin Kiner in the end. But
oh, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, it will be interesting if they bring in a new guy to see what he does and if he can succeed as much as Kevin Kiner did with the Clone Wars.
Because, I mean, Chino is a good amount of credits to his name and very popular one. So, yeah, I know, I'm just pointing out that he is already pretty popular as well. Yeah.
So, you know what the fans are like in this fandom, they're very picky.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm with the flames there.
They'll be going with pickaxes to his house if he makes a mistake, so...
Oh, yeah.
Or lightsabers in this case.
What do you make of it, Adrian?
Well, like you said, I know there's a bunch of rumors going around, and there's sometimes when this is all created just because of the possible speculation that a new trailer or a new commentary just reveals. I really hope, as far as the composing, they bring back the guy, I don't remember his name, but you guys just mentioned him a couple of times, who did the Clone Wars.
Kevin Kiner.
Yeah, Kevin Kiner, yeah. I really hope it's back. I guess it would sort of ease the worries of some fans who feel that, they feel scared about the show. They don't think it'll be as good as the Clone Wars. In fact, you get these little kids who are saying, we were fine with Clone Wars, and they don't feel comfortable transitioning over to Rebels. So I think if we had that musical component to it, it would really help ease the transition. Because we all know one of the best parts about why we love Star Wars is just how well the soundtrack plays at the right cue moment of when an important scene would occur.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I think if they can get enough of those hits during the first few episodes, then definitely you will change the mindset of how fans perceive the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, we've also got John Williams, who's rumoured to be doing the main theme.
Even better.
Yeah. That's all you can say, even better.
Not much to be said there. I mean, one thing I do want to say, though, because I know I have seen in the community a lot of people are writing down this rumour immediately saying, John Williams is too big a name to do Rebels and all that. Well, it's only the main theme, so he won't be working on it all the time. But I think really, I mean, what Filoni and others have said, like Kathleen Kennedy at her Celebration of 2 panel, is that across all borders of Lucasfilm now and with Star Wars, there's going to be a lot of, cooperation between like different sections, like episode 7, Rebels, etc. There's going to be a lot of cooperation, even the spin-off films. It's like, I mean, I really can't see why they won't be able to get John Williams to do the main Rebels theme. Would he do it? That's no question, but I'm sure they could definitely ask or try to get him to do it. I mean, like, sure, he'll be working on episode 7 mainly, but I'm sure he could do the main theme for Rebels anyway, which they pretty much use in every episode, kind of like the Clone Wars start theme,
Yeah.
I think people who are writing off this theme are a bit too quick to, write it off, because I think it does have a realm of possibility. I don't think it's likely, but I think it definitely could happen. I mean it's not impossible.
With the Clone Wars, we had something more lively, more jumping into war theme sort of thing. It'll be interesting with the Rebels. It would be good if it suited something more like something dark, something not so sad, but something like something dark.
Conquering.
Yeah, we know stuff's gonna be bad already, sort of thing. Not as footage wise, but as in what's gonna happen in the storyline. We already know that something's gonna go down wrong.
Well, more than one something, a lot of somethings.
Well, probably the whole series, but that's not the point.
You're saying that on purpose, aren't you? Sarcasm.
Yes. But yes, and also we have the toy branding of this for the series.
We already knew what the action figure packaging would look like. We got an idea of some of the other boxes as well. Not really too sure which companies they're actually for, though. One interesting thing is that, I mean, usually there's always a cooperation, like Lego would usually use the packaging as well. But what's interesting is Lego pretty much already revealed their packaging for next year, which is a Vader image from Revenge of the Sith. I mean, Lego have been working on sets for a while, like even longer than the other companies have been working on their products. So, it would definitely look weird among all the other projects with the Stormtrooper, animated look. Maybe Lego will change, I don't know. I mean, probably not, though, considering how long they've had that packaging ready to go.
Maybe Lego are being rebels. Haha. Sorry, I just had to throw that one out.
I have to say, this is slightly off topic. I found out the other day they're releasing a Nemoidian Warrior minifigure in the 2014 Vulture Droid set. We're getting two new Nemoidians this year. I'm so happy.
We should have a section on this podcast. We should have a section on this podcast for Lizzie just to talk about Nemoidians, so it doesn't ding me all around the show.
Well, it happens enough, but the thing is, I don't think you can contain me. I'm all over the place with Nemoidians. I mean, I could bring up Nemoidians at the drop of a hat. Pun kind of intended.
Would it be Lot Dodd's hat?
Sorry?
Would it be Lot Dodd's hat?
Oh, yes.
But yes, please, back on topic.
Oh, I love that hat.
Yeah, so, Adrian, what do you make of the toy branding for this show?
Well, as far as I know, I only just saw a box art, and that's my guess. That's it. I mean, was the box under Hasbro?
One of them was Hasbro. I'm not actually certain of the other manufacturer.
No, I'm not sure.
But yeah, one was definitely the Hasbro action figure one for the Rebels line next year.
Oh my gosh, I mean, this will be interesting. I mean, let's hope they're not going to go with the trend of making one good-looking model, then next year they make a half-painted, half-terrible job.
I'm already terrified of this whole 5 points of articulation thing.
Yeah, because it's actually been confirmed already, Adrian, that it will be 5 points of articulation, but with detail.
Yes, we had a rather lengthy discussion about this last time.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure either way this will look good on your YouTube ranting.
Who, me?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, when you start reviewing the figures. look at this item. Does this even look like a polished action figure? Hell no. I mean, if you just look at the figure, I mean, look at the paint job. It's like crap and everything. I mean, come on, Hasbro. I know you made terrible figures for the Clone Wars, but I thought you'd learn your lesson with Rebels.
Do I really sound like that?
No, you don't.
Yeah,
I'm just imagining what you might say.
If that sounded like Rory, then what's happened to Rory?
What? Very now.
Yes, I think we've covered Rebels very well tonight, actually.
Yeah. Maybe a bit too well. No, I'm just kidding. You covered it well.
But we have to move on from one new thing to another, and next up we have episode 7 News and Rumors, of course. It would be...
I think we don't actually have that many tonight. Sorry,
No,
like
but-
1, 2, usually we have about 10.
It wouldn't be usual if we didn't have any. I mean, yeah.
I mean, of course.
But yeah, so...
Yeah, it won't be TVOTO without some episode 7 news and rumors.
So what was TVOTR before episode 7 was even announced?
The Clone Wars.
True. So first we've got speculation that Disney Lucasfilm will make an important announcement on October the 30th, 1 year since the takeover.
And yes,
That is going to be a dark day.
Yeah.
What is it predicted to rain that day? Oh.
No, it's not when you hear. But
I just heard it's going to be a dark day.
It would make sense though for them to announce something 1 year exactly after they were announced to be taking over.
Maybe they'll announce that it's going to be a movie.
Yeah,
Another
like
one?
Ford is saying, you know, the interview he did with Conan O'Brien where he's like, I hear there's going to be another one. And everyone's like, oh, he really went there, didn't he? But
he did.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool to announce it then, 'cause it would make a bit of sense. It would be interesting, that's for sure. And
Yeah.
hope it is an actual important announcement, not some weird announcement.
Maybe it'll be a
Not
cast
weird.
announcement.
Yeah. It'll probably be Harrison, Kerry, and Mark returning, and we're all like, well, we already guessed that.
Tell us something new, please.
Yeah. So what do you make of Adrian? The speculation.
What was the topic on?
The speculation that Disney Lucasfilm will make an important announcement on October the 30th, 1 year since the takeover.
I mean, I'm more obliged to hear any more news that'll help calm down the tensions. Because honestly, from my end, I get too much of this headache every single day, just simply talking on the Star Wars forums. So I really hope that the more Disney advertises and says, "Hey, we understand that you fans like the Clone Wars. We're going to release the content for you instead of deciding not to give you them at all." And pretty much they're promising. They're promising a lot of things in 2014, and I'm glad for this. I'm thankful for it. This is something that they're not charging us right down immediately, just to go and view it. They'll provide it for us. So, any chance that they might give an announcement about the takeover, I think that'll be great. But unfortunately, I think it'll take for some fans a little longer to accept the reality of the situation.
Definitely.
You're talking to one of those fans.
Where?
Who, me?
No, me. I still don't want this to happen.
Right.
We've been through this before. She always rants when we talk about episode 7.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's what Palpatine said in the Phantom Menace. He said, oh shoot, I can't remember. To be realistic, Your Majesty, I think we'll have to accept. Yeah, I know. I haven't watched the films in a while.
I can't remember him saying shit I can't remember.
It was that scene where he's talking to Amidala just before she says, "Screw it, I'm gonna go back to Naboo."
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but if you're gonna say about a quote, you might as well know it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Once upon a time in the land of Screw It, But yeah.
Once upon a time in Adrian's fantasy world where he's an animation writer. Oh wait, he doesn't know what to write.
Animation writer? I think you mean script writing, man.
Same difference. It's for an animation, therefore it's an animation script writer thingy.
For animation, you need to code it.
Daryl,
Well,
please.
you kind of need to design it too.
I know, but you don't write to design. You write concept. Whatever. We're getting off cue with this.
Dan's trying to break us up or something.
Ladies, please stop cockfighting.
Yeah, I could just hear Dan mumbling in the background, and he was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!"
And we also have Anthony Daniels possibly revealing his return. Now we saw that this week, I believe it was, or it's probably last week. I can't get weeks right now. He almost gave it away.
Yeah. Well, I think he was. I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but I think it was more of a. He was just pulling the fans along because Anthony Daniels, he is kind of that kind of guy who can easily string them along to believe what they want to believe. I mean, it was funny because like an audience member was like asking him, "You're the only actor to be in all 6 movies," and Anthony's like, "That's correct." And the audience member's like, "And possibly 7." And he's like, "Well, you've been," and Anthony's like, "Well, you've been very cheeky, aren't you?" And something like that. Basically,
Yeah.
Anthony was then answering the question, and I think some people took it as a slip of the tongue where he said he'd been in 7 movies, but I don't know. I mean, he did mention that he was kind of in the Clone Wars movie, technically 7, and that he felt. Yeah, but then he backtracked and said, "No, wait, 6. I meant 6." I mean, honestly, I think in a sense, I can understand why some people would think that maybe he slipped like that, but I think it was also possibly just pulling the fans along, getting the reaction would get.
What a troll.
I mean,
We've
we've seen R2D2 and C3PO in all 6 of the movies. I mean, in my opinion, in some sense, I think they've served their time, their stories, and it would be good to see new stuff in episode 7, 8, 9. But I mean, if we do see them, then it would be good because they are part of Star Wars now. But in my opinion, they've kind of had their time in the movies.
Yeah. What do you make of what Anthony said, Adrian? Was that something else you didn't see?
Probably. I'm just my mind's like all over the place right now because I have to try to keep the traffic in my room down.
Yeah, you're trying to keep the new roof up, aren't you?
Yeah, funny.
Thank you.
You just got your hands in the air trying to keep it in place. No, a little bit to left.
Pretty much, but yeah, I think that's all about episode 7.
What would it be?
Dan, what would it
be?
I want to point out, Dan, your audio's dropped there. Like I can barely hear you. Not sure about the others.
Hello?
You're muttering. You sound like you're muttering. Speak up.
I am speaking up.
It still doesn't sound like it.
I'm sorry I don't sound like a normal person.
Who said you were a normal person?
Right. As I was saying, I shall start shouting now so you hear me.
Actually, I think it's a complete computer problem on your end, because, like,
You know what? I'm gonna blame Windows 8 for this.
You're gonna blame who?
Windows 8.
Oh. That's the blame, I guess.
Yes,
Moving on.
Moving on. So, we've got the Clone Wars news. Now, it wouldn't be the same without the Clone Wars.
Which is kind of weird, because we don't usually get that much news.
Yes, and obviously, Dave Filoni announced the bonus content will be coming in early 2014. Huzzah! Happy dance.
Yeah! Finally, the official confirmation. We do not need an Upper Gunman style dance, please, Dan.
Oh, I'm gonna get my video from YouTube.
No.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Posted in the chat.
Oh, thank you for the idea.
No. I'll never
Here we go
sleep
again.
again.
You discuss about it. I'm just gonna look for that.
No, but I mean, I'm very excited. I mean, it's great to have official confirmation on when we're gaining. I mean, sure, we don't know the official date or where it's going, but at least we know when to expect it. Like I'd say by early probably means around February to May area, because I think that would be probably early, because of course June is halfway between the start and the end of the year, so it would make sense for it to be around February, May. Be great if it was released on January 30th for my birthday. That'd be good. Yeah, I'm very excited to see the episodes. It's great that they finished production on them, even though it's kind of sad, that they'll never work on the Clone Wars again, anything more, since they've stopped production. But yeah, what do you reckon, Dan? And Dan, I think the audio problem is the entire feed, not actually you.
Yay! Well, I just went and posted the Gangnam Style video, so yes, so yeah, it's definitely good that we're gonna be finally having a sort of estimate when we're going to be seeing these new bonus contents that have been talking about for ages and ages and ages. So we've been sitting here in our chairs just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and just we've seen videos of like one of the episodes, and we're just sitting, well, not the whole episode, but obviously part of the episode, or a tiny bit of the episode, but we've just been sitting here waiting and waiting, and it's good to know when we're finally actually going to be getting to see what we've been waiting for.
I hate to describe it like this, but it's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like finding out about a murder. Like, that the fact that we've now got, official confirmation and everything, it gives us closure, but it still doesn't bring the person back. It still doesn't bring the series back.
Yeah. Well, it's not bringing the series back, but at least we're getting what we kind of been waiting for. Yeah, we're getting what we deserve.
We're getting the minimum of what we deserve.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it.
We're getting the send-off.
Yeah, most TV shows that get cancelled won't even get some bonus episodes. So I think it's good, Ian, if they don't, actually wrap up the whole storyline, that we actually do at least get some new episodes, and they will, reveal some, plot ends and stuff like that. I mean, maybe not the complete ending that we all want to see, but at least if we get some end points, that would be good.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's definitely the send-off that we've been waiting for, and as you've said, some things that get cancelled don't even get a send-off, and it's gonna finish not finish, but it's gonna just give us what we wanted. And okay, some people in the chat have seen my video and they're very confused. But yes,
as they should be.
So I apologise to people that had to watch that, and I don't blame you if you want to get a spoon and start just taking your eyes out with it. But yes, so it's definitely going to be interesting and good to see it finally happen.
Yeah.
And
what
sorry.
Do you reckon, Lizzie?
Sorry?
What do you reckon?
Well, it's like Dan said, and actually he brought up something that I hadn't really considered, that he's right. When a show is cancelled, that's usually it. There could be 1,000, loose ends that will never be solved. So I have to admit, since this March, I've been pining over the fact that what is arguably my favourite show ever, certainly one of the greatest things to have ever been on television, and again, certainly one of the greatest things that has ever happened to Star Wars, if not the greatest. I've been pining over the fact that we've now lost that, but you're right, they haven't left us sort of just hanging in the dark. we don't know how much we're getting. There could be a fair amount more than what we're actually expecting.
Yeah.
They actually are going to tie up some loose ends, and I suppose in that respect, Star Wars fans are actually incredibly fortunate. I mean, think about again, I don't know too much about this, but I'm Firefly fans.
Oh, yeah.
From what I understand, the show was cancelled. Nothing's been done about it.
Yeah. That was just
they were
completely cut off.
They were just left in the dark.
That was completely cut off.
So that's not happening to us. Like I said, we're getting a send off. I as a Star Wars fan, I will never get over the fact that I think that Clone Wars was cut down in its prime, certainly for no reason other than probably financial gain. Disney was not getting all of the money from it, whereas they will be getting everything from Rebels, or more from Rebels. But yeah, and I mean it will be nice to see what they've actually got for us and how they've decided to tie up various loose ends. It will also finally. Okay, funny story here. I made a bet with my mother in 2010 that Lot Dodd would end up dead before Clone Wars was over. And I really don't want to lose that bet, on the one hand, because the consequences for doing so are not wonderful. I'm not looking forward to doing what I need to do if I do lose that bet. On the other hand, though, I really want Lot Dodd to live. I mean, he's my favourite Star Wars character. He's dodged everything thrown at him so far. He's a criffing survivor. But anyway, I made a bet with her in 2010, and I kind of don't want to lose it. So it will kind of put to rest in my mind, or rather it might, what will be his fate. Because I still stand by what I said, that he signed his own death warrant in Heroes on Both Sides by actively and, while viewers were watching. Well, I mean, in the view, of Clone Wars, I don't know how else to say it. You saw it happening, but it wasn't behind the scenes. That he was making deals with Dooku. That he took part in a very serious terrorist attack on Coruscant to sway a political vote. And I said that they're not gonna let a character like that keep walking. That he was almost certainly going to die at some point within the series. And since they're bringing Clovis back in one of the arcs, I've got a very, very horrible feeling he's not going to survive that arc. So it will be interesting to see what happens with that.
And we'll have Lizzie crying for weeks.
Oh gosh, I'm probably going to have to buy a gallon of ice cream just in case.
What's that gonna accomplish?
I don't know, but I can come home and eat a tub of ice cream if he dies.
Okay, Adrian, what do you think of it all?
1 arc, 2 arc, 5 arcs, 10 arcs. Just show me whatever you want. Let me know how it ends or how it would have ended, and I'll be satisfied.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, I've already expressed my concerns in the beginning of the show. I didn't like some changes they made to some EU characters or to some things in general, but I've learned, whatever, this is their story, not my story. I'm just going to accept the changes and then just hope it's for the best. So whatever content they want to keep throwing, by all means, go ahead. Thank you very much for even giving us this bonus content stuff. Clovis lives, he lives. He dies, he dies. Oh well.
Good. No one points a blaster at Lot Dodd and lives.
Well, it could be worse. He could be poisoned.
Who, Lot Dodd?
Yeah, he could be poisoned.
That would be really ironic.
Yes.
I hope that would happen. Oh gosh, that'd be look, if he has to die, at least make it gentle and painless and quick.
Push him over a cliff.
No,
Is his head sliced off gentle?
No! Why would you do that? Why would you say that?
Nail it, Dan.
Does every character need to die? Can't they just live off in their own world afterwards?
No,
yes.
It's a war.
But
Actually,
Not
some of
everyone
them can
needs to
survive.
die. Not everyone needs to die just because we don't see them ever again. I mean,
Especially
they will.
not Lord God.
Well, it depends if they're a favorite of the people making the series. Filoni and Wolf and Rambo.
I
And
insist
the
that you
dog.
let me stay after the Clone Wars.
You got it. Anything
Yeah,
for you,
probably.
Senator?
Anyway, moving on. The Clone Wars.
Before
Season
this,
5.
Adrian and Lizzie talk gets a bit out of hand. Let's move on.
So we also have the Clone
Slanders!
Wars. God. We can do role playing later. The Clone Wars
What?
season 5 and seasons 1 to 5 DVDs released during the week.
Christmas can't come soon enough.
No, it can't. But I mean, the season 1 to season 5 DVDs part. I need to pick that up.
Yeah,
It's
a big set. Are you sure you can handle that?
No, I might struggle carrying it home from the supermarket.
You might want to work out first.
Just like, oh no, damn it, I fell again with it.
And then he gets angry again.
Angry Scotsman.
Are you challenging me?
I don't think he would dare, Adrian.
No.
I'm ready to go.
Your riff's already falling, so.
What?
Oh no, I just broke my headphone.
Wow. That's
Well
it.
done.
5 seconds, please.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the season 5 box anyway for Christmas. I mean, it's kind of like a ritual for me. I must have the new season of the Clones on DVD at Christmas, or else it's not Christmas.
Are they releasing? Shut up.
What?
Are they releasing season 5? Season 5 separately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, I mean, they're
I mean,
releasing separately,
I
and then
understand.
5 as a whole. Oh, stop that.
I understand how you feel about getting Clone Wars at Christmas. I mean, I've had it for Christmas for the past 3 or 4 years. You say it wouldn't be Christmas if you didn't get a Clone Wars set.
Oh god. I've only got season 1 and I've never got any for Christmas.
Get out!
I enjoy Christmas for the Christmas tree.
Well,
and the chocolate.
That's much chocolate too.
Chocolate. God damn it! Now I'm hungry. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. But yeah, I mean, I'm not completely sure I'll get the seasons 1 to 5 set unless there's some really, really cool exclusives. Actually, I think there was some sort of poster or what was it? I'm sure it's one in the show, no, but I remember seeing
it was some sort of poster, I think it was.
Yeah, it was like a poster. Oh! Is it the poster where there was the Anakin and the Ahsoka shot at the end, but they also
with Rex,
Obi-Wan, etc. Yeah, that shot looked great. I mean, I would actually have loved that to be the season 5 finale scene as well. I mean, sure, the scene we did get was great, but seeing Rex, Obi-Wan, and those who really did support Ahsoka there as well would be great. But yeah, I mean, that poster would make for a great autograph piece from the main cast.
Rex getting killed would have been even better. Sorry,
I knew you would say that.
I'm too predictable. But yes. So what do you think, Adrian? It's not who we've gone to yet.
Well, as far as the box editions for the Clone Wars, it's a nice little gift present, as you guys have already explained. Definitely, I know people have been saying, "Oh, but it should be included with the bonus episodes and everything." I like it just because it's the collector's editions box, because it has everything perfectly all laid out in one format or the other, and it's probably, at least personally, why I knew in advance it was not a good idea to start checking out the individual DVD slots, knowing they were going to come up with something like this later on. It's a fair marketing tactic for sure. What was included in the package? I think it was some sort of concept art book as well.
Yeah, it was a book. Kenny in the chat said that, so props to Kenny for that. Yeah.
Ooh. Does it come with a sticker?
I can't tell if that's serious or not.
It's serious.
Anyone who has the concept book, please let me know if it has concept art of Nemoidians or Duros in it.
We'll give you a sticker later, Adrian. Don't worry.
Okay, yay!
Be a smiley face.
Because every single boxed, collector's edition boxed, I always pre-order. It would always have like a sticker somewhere in there, so that'd be cool. It's either a sticker or a statue.
What's a sticker?
It's a loose terminology that came off my lips at the wrong time. I'm sure I can find a way to make it fit my own dictionary way.
Yeah, I hope that dictionary never exists.
Too bad it exists in my mind.
We'll send you a Voice of the Republic podcast sticker, Adrian.
Woo! That's actually a good one. I've a few of those. Yeah, and there were a couple.
I've actually been working on them. But yes.
Long live the Chelimo!
Huh?
It's from another franchise. Don't worry about it.
You're in the wrong franchise, mister.
Yeah, anyway, back on topic.
Yes, but we've also have alternate scenes of Darth Sidious versus Darth Maul and Savage Opress.
And Ahsoka Tano leads the Jedi Order.
I didn't get that one. I saw that one, but I just didn't get the difference. I don't know if I was being really thick.
Well, yeah, I'll give you that one. It wasn't really that much of a difference, but the hint is in the, the actual, the fact that it's like, a storyboard animation, not full CGI finished. There were a few different lines as well, and the fact that some of it took place outside the Jedi Temple, though it's the same dialogue, but there was one extra comment from Ahsoka towards the Jedi. I can't remember exactly where it was. I'll have to check afterwards, but it was something like, I could never work with them again, or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was like a kind of snide remark about them, which would be perfectly justified, of course, considering what they did, the Jedi Order, towards her. Yeah. I think it would have been pretty interesting to add into the episode. I mean, it was a pretty gut-wrenching line to say, even though it was just a few words, just the way it was executed by Ashley.
The other one was pretty good as well, actually.
Yeah, it was like a full alternate fight scene. I mean, Dave Filoni had actually mentioned that they had to cut out a portion of the fight because of time limits. And honestly, it was a good fight, but I do understand why they cut out, because a few people, I get there was storyboard animation, so if the final thing, some of these were being a bit edited and cut, but some of the movements were really slow, kind of.
Oh god, yeah. He wasn't even walking, Darth Sidious, and obviously the thing me a bit just like, oh god, he's floating in the air. No.
Yeah, there was some interesting fight bits there. I mean, it was kind of amusing in a sense when Maul force pushes Sidious against the tapestry of scene behind the throne, and then Savage tries to stab Sidious and puts his lightsaber right through the tapestry and slides down. Basically, if that scene was actually finished animation, you would have put a line right through the tapestry of Satine. That would have been a bit interesting. 2 deaths in 1 episode for Satine, in a sense. Yeah. I mean, I understand why it was cut out. It was a good little portion of a fight, but there was also some really slow moments in it, so I'm not complaining too much that it was cut out, but some of it would have been cool to see in finished animation, but the lack of it didn't take away from the episode in any case.
No, they were definitely interesting to see, but they might not have completely fitted into this. I mean, some of it might not have, but I think the way they left it in the end was good enough.
Yeah, definitely. What do you do? either of you seen those alternate scenes, Lizzie or Adrian?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it yet. I actually unplugged my headphones just now, so I wouldn't hear any spoilers.
Well, there's nothing really to spoil in any case.
So, when
I
Darth
have
Maul...
not
I'm
seen
kidding.
it. You've seen them, Adrian?
Nope.
Oh,
Lizzie.
I thought you just said you had. I'm confused. Never mind.
Lizzie,
Yeah.
so when Darth Maul... No, I'm kidding, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh my... I know what was coming.
I'm plotting your demise right now.
Oh.
I can't see you, so there's no threat.
Don't worry, she's gonna be sending an express poison package over.
or a platoon of droidy cars.
Do I need to sign for it?
What doing that?
Don't worry.
I'll just get the clone trooper to answer the door.
That's okay.
You're
I
gonna
don't like
kill-
clones anyway.
You're gonna
Listen, him
kill your
instead.
favorite clone, Naya. What is wrong with you, Dan?
I just heard Lizzie say something I don't like, so let's move on.
I don't like clones.
Pneumonians are hideous.
They're beautiful.
Well, technically the males aren't, but yeah.
Oh
I'm not-
yes, they are.
But
Look,
not
do you want me to go into detail about this while we're on the air?
No.
But I was just making a point. You know, females are beautiful. You know, is another word for the males.
I'm already traumatized with pre-show conversation we had.
Oh man, you're never looking at Teihao the same way again, are you?
No, I'm not bringing this into the podcast. The listeners do not deserve to hear this.
Why are
It's
you
just-
gonna?
It involves Teihao.
Are you gonna
Next up,
name Dan?
Next up, we're discussing confirmations from Jedi News.
Yep. Hey,
So-
confirmations. That's cool.
We have
It's official. Lightsabers are being made in the works.
First up, we have Star Wars mobile Lego games coming spring/summer 2014.
Yep. Mobiles. Oh, I've got a mobile right here.
Ring, ring.
Some.
Hello, Lego Star Wars games.
What?
But
This
yes,
is Williamson from Lego Star Wars Games speaking.
that would suit you.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, will be interesting to see what those games look like. I mean, it's Lego. That's an immediate win right away. But yeah, should be good.
Definitely. I've not really seen a lot of these. There are a lot of news on the... Not really read a lot about the Lego games. They're not really up to date to what they are, what they're going to be about, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah. And there's also a digital library.
That's going to be interesting.
Winter 2014. Yeah, should definitely be good. They're definitely making a lot use out of, technology, definitely, which is really
I
cool.
hate it, but I love it.
Yeah. And confirmation that episode 7 is still planned to be released in spring summer 2015 times. So suck on that, Latino review.
They don't suck
Yeah.
on anything.
Every level.
That was just random. Ha 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 from the background.
Yeah. And also I read an interesting confirmation that upcoming Darth Vader themed TV specials. Yeah. Could be Lego. I think I'd probably put my bet on Lego specials, because usually special is associated with Lego.
You don't see them actually doing a not live action, but you don't see them doing a thing now, especially when they're concentrating on episode 7, 8, and 9. They're not going to start getting stuck into a Darth Vader themed TV special when they've already got enough hands on deck with the movies.
Yeah, that's why I think there'll be some sort of outside company doing it, like Lego.
I definitely root for Lego. It'll be interesting to see, and hopefully they do a good job of it. I mean, they've done other stuff Lego stuff that I have liked. So yeah.
Yeah. So what do you both make of all that news, Lizzie and Adrian?
Too many games. I'm still stuck with Angry Birds Star Wars.
Oh my god.
Why?
Because after my little focus meeting I had with the the Star Wars people, I told Ruari about that. It's just nothing Angry Birds in my mind.
Hi, Rari.
Hey, that's not what he called me.
Yes, but that's what I'm going to call you now.
Okay, anyways, it's great that they're gonna have like a bunch of new Lego sets of games and everything. I really hope it contributes to my recommendations I told them to make for the new website update. So that'll be kind of cool.
Simple instruction: fix it, don't break it again.
All I can say is put Angry Birds, anything they've made of Angry Birds, and Darth Vader's into a fire and just burn it all, and I will be dancing happily all night like the Ewoks celebrating after the Death Star was destroyed.
Excuse me, but I've heard you've been hiding Jewish Ewoks.
What?
You don't get it?
Anyway,
time to wrap.
I was actually a huge fan of both the Angry Birds and the Lego games. Shut up, Dan. And the Lego games in the past. So I would actually be very curious to see what kind of Lego games they're planning on releasing. And I say that because just this last week I looked into a brand new game called Star Wars Force Collection, which is essentially Pokemon cards with Star Wars characters, and it is quite simply the best thing ever, and in many ways a dream come true for me because my second biggest fandom is Pokemon. So if you haven't got that game already, if you've got an iOS or an Android device, I cannot recommend it enough. It's free to download. It's so much fun. And I mean, they did such a great job with that. I mean, that's actually rather encouraging that they're gonna come out with some nice games. I said earlier on the show that I was very excited for the actual physical Lego sets. Because they're actually releasing 2 Nemoidians this year. Apparently a Nemoidian warrior with the Vulture droid set, and a Nemoidian pilot with a set I'm not too sure about. Basically, it's Tae Hao. Now, they haven't actually named him or her as Tae Hao, but they've got the goggles and the hat and everything, and I cannot believe it. Now, if Hasbro would just finally give me my Tae Hao, standard size figure, or better yet, a 12-inch figure, then I would be happy. But anyway,
don't they all have goggles?
No, not all of them.
Okay, I just.
I actually have a bit of a theory that only pilots. Shut up. Only pilots of the Lucrehulk class freighters have the goggles. Because if you look at Martuk, he had the goggles. Look at Tae Hao. Look at Silunch. Almost everyone who has piloted a Lucrehulk freighter has had the goggles. Now, Sib Kane was an exception, but he wasn't a pilot. So again, that's, I don't know. And I mean, and again, it would just make sense in my mind because they're such enormous ships and so complicated. Lustro's Dauphine, on the other hand, he piloted a Providence class, I think it's called, and he didn't have the goggles, and it's a much smaller ship. Anyway, that's my rant for the day.
So
that's Lizzie's Nemoidian section for today.
Yeah, wrap up time.
Oh, wait, question. Did we talk about, or did you guys talk about before about a Darth Vader themed TV show coming forward?
We just talked about it.
Well, that's the special, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the special. Okay, good. Just want to make sure.
You're still lost in hyperspace, Adrian.
No,
yeah.
No, I'm okay. I just want to make sure we covered it.
We're not that forgetful, God.
Well, you are. I'm not. I write the notes.
That's still shaken from the pre-show.
Don't give me these memories again.
Don't cry, Dan.
So make sure to check out our YouTube channels. The podcast is www.youtube.com/user/voice of the Republic 1. Mine is www.youtube.com/user/14mrs. And yes, I actually uploaded something today.
No.
Yes, after 6 months.
Wow.
Rory's is www.youtube.com/user/separatist destroyers. And don't forget to check out Rory's Everything Geek podcast, www.facebook.com/everything geek podcast. Don't forget to check out Lizzie's
pages.
that doesn't matter. Check out Lizzie's website at sempernemoidiana.weebly.com and also the Forcebook at theforcebook.com. And don't forget to check out our friends at the Clone Wars Weekly podcast at www.facebook.com/Clone Wars Weekly, just annoy Rory. And check out Channel
I'm not
118
annoyed.
on Facebook at www.facebook.com/channel1138. And also check out our sponsors, Hunter Toys, www.facebook.com/Hunter Toys. And finally, if you're just randomly in the chat and don't know where Facebook page is, well then find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/TVOTR podcast. So yeah, this has definitely been a good, entertaining discussion, Neimodian, whatever you want to call it, episode.
Bring on the role playing.
Oh God.
Are you going to be Lot Dodd?
I can if you want me to be, my darling.
And what happens? And for live
my.
for live listeners, what happens after this podcast, you won't want to know. So from Lizzie, Adrian, Rory, and me, Daniel, may the force be with you, Star Wars fans, and please help us.
Good night.
Sleep well.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Or the Neimodians bite.
Oh no, they can bite.
Don't let the Anzati suck your blood.
I'm scared we're still on air. We are still on. Oh no, Chris! Okay, good. I did. I said it like